everybody, this is Dr. Law from Tiffin University. How's everybody? I didn't see my student for a while. So for those of you who are my student, hope you are stay safe and then stay healthy. Didn't see for a while, it's really miss you. Only thing I can do is keep recording the lecture so you can see me. And so hopefully you also spend your time watch the lecture so you can see me, okay? This actually is a reality therapy for part 3, okay? So before this one, I already post part 1 and part 2, so you pretty much familiar with Dr. William Glasser's his life, and you also familiar with his theory, some part of theory, right? So let's just review a little bit before we move on. So he talked about our human needs, just like a chair, right? So they have 4 legs in the chair. It's fun, it's freedom, it's love, belonging, and it's power. And he believed we need to have these 4 legs to support surviving, okay? So hopefully you find it's true in your life. I believe, for example, in order to survive this stay-home order to pass over this coronavirus period time, we don't want just stay home suffering. We want to stay home, enjoy our freedom, enjoy our fun, and then feel like I'm in control my time management, right? I'm in control whatever I need to do, and then have a good relationship with family. So if we have all this, it will be easy for us to survive during this time. However, people they are every day complain and depressed, or the family they fight with each other all the time, that'll be very hard for them to survive, right? So that's the first thing William Glasser say, we need to know what do we need. Okay, we need to know what do we need, and then we do our best to fulfill those needs. If we can do so, our surviving rate will be higher than for those people, their needs won't able to be fulfilled, right? The second thing, what he say about it, he say we all have the quality world, right? Remember, and quality world, it means, something in our mind. Each of us have something we call that's the best, right? And so we have our picture of best food, where our picture is beautiful, person, where our picture is the wonderful place I want to go. And looks like nobody will have the same quality world. Why? Because this is the picture you accumulate since very young age. So then, even you are from the same family, you will have different experience, and so you accumulate different things in your mind, and we call it a quality world, right? So in order to understand each other, you may want to spend some time listen people's story, so you will know what do they have in their mental album, right? So that is the resource of their quality world, right? Then we also say, no, you can keep changing the pictures. When you start to grow, you accumulate the new picture, what's been good, right? One thing you cannot get rid of is yourself, okay? Because if you don't have yourself, then you have no way to continue your life, right? So a lot of time people are so depressed, they say, I like everything but myself. Well, that's why they need help, right? And also, you can continue to change the picture of yourself. Just don't get rid of them, okay? So the second one. And the third one will be the one we are going to talk about today. Remember last time, at the end of the last picture, I show you a car, Then I say, if you come back, we will talk about the car, right? And hopefully you come back. Okay, so this actually the car, the title called the whole behavior. The whole behavior. So then William Glasser believed, he used a metaphor, he used a car to describe our whole behavior as a human being. And of course, because William Glasser is American, and in American, driving car is very common. So then he believed using car to describe this theory is easy to understand. Well, if he grew up from other culture, if driving car is not that common, then maybe he needed change the way he described the theory. But I believe in nowadays, everybody know the car, right? So if you think about you are the car, okay, what is most important part of you, of ourselves? What's most important ourselves? Of course, it's what? Engine. It's engine, right? Engine is the most important part of your car, right? So when we say engine, according to his theory, will be needs, right? So we think about if you are the car and you don't have engine, is the car can be useful? No, because your car not even able to turn on, right? So same thing as a human being, if we don't know what we want or what do we need, then it's very hard for us to move on our life, right? For example, right now you are stay home all day long, and if you don't really know what do you need, then you may not want to get up, right? But if you start to, in the morning when you start to feel hungry, you say, okay, I need to get up because what? I want to find something to eat. Well, that's good because you are hungry, right? Or you say, oh, I really miss my friend, then you have a need, so you maybe go to social media or you make a phone call, so you will do something, right? So you want to feel like those belong in love, right? So actually the needs is the one like your car have engine, right? So when your car have engine, when you turn on, your car be, right, it will be on, and now you can drive. Okay, now the question is, okay, you have the needs, but then what do you want? What do you want? Okay, you know you are hungry, but hungry for what? That is the question. You say, I'm really hungry, I want to eat something, and then you are home, so you say, Mom, I'm really hungry. And your mom will say, then what do you want to eat? What do you want? Okay, so think about a car. The wanting part will be more like this. Your steering wheel, right? And so if you say, I really want, for example, McDonald's breakfast, then maybe you say, okay, I'm going to drive a car, and then you will turn to drive through to McDonald's, and then you order the breakfast from McDonald's because that's what you want for that morning, right? Or you say, well, maybe I just want piece of the toast, make a sandwich. Okay, so you went to what? You went to refrigerator, check, see if your home still have a bread, right? So you got a bread and you toast, and then you got your breakfast. So it's important to know what do you want, right? So your engine is your needs, right? And then your steering wheel is your wants. And then when you turn to right side, then your car go to right side. If you turn to the left side, your car go to the left side, right? So actually, your steering wheel, that means want. Okay, so quite often when we helping our client, they are struggle, mainly because they don't really know what do they want. For example, you are taking the class, And if you know what do you want from this class, you have more motivation to take class, to listen to the lecture, to write the notes, because you know you want to learn, and then they'll help you to able to helping other people, right? So that want is important. Okay, so now think about when you turn in the steering wheel, what happened? In our car, we have 4 wheels. Well, 4 wheels, right? And those 4 wheels, so when you turn right, the most likely most of car is the design is 2 front wheel is the leader, and then 2 rear wheel be follow, right? So then in glasses theory, believe if you are the let me see, so hopefully my PowerPoint is the right place. So then you have the needs, right? So this front wheel, so there are 2 front wheel, right? 2 front wheel based on glasses ideal. Those 2 front wheel represent what? Your action and your thinking. Your action and your thinking, right? So then when I say, I really hungry for breakfast. So then your action is what? You go to walk to the refrigerator, and your thinking will be, let me see, what do we have? And then when you see a piece of a loaf of bread there, you do the action, and then your thinking will say, oh, wonderful, we have loaf of bread. Well, that's if you think this way, then think about what's your wheel in the back. You are excited, say, yeah, we have bread, I can have your breakfast, I can have my breakfast, so you are excited, right? Well, another hand, if you open your refrigerator and you see bread, you say, that bread looks not good. Maybe already so many days, you say maybe not fresh. So when you think this way, what's your feelings? You feel disappointed. You really want to have a sandwich, but then when you see your bread, you don't feel that's good bread for the sandwich, so you feel disappointed, right? That makes sense? So your action, the real wheel for action is what? It's your physiology, right? Your body react, right? So you are moving physically. So you have to go to refrigerator. So you walk to refrigerate, right? So that body action followed by your action, right? You want to do something, then your whole body have to follow, right? Then your thinking will influence your feelings. That makes sense? So what happened? Sometimes people say, I'm so depressed, and you try to say, no, don't be depressed, just okay, just take it easy. So you try to change their emotion according to this theory. Do that possible? Looks like it's not possible, right? In order to change their emotion, you need to change their what? Thinking first. You have to change their thinking. Once their thinking change, then their emotion will change as well. So for example, you went to the refrigerator and you see the bread, instead of say, oh, that looks not delicious, you say, oh, it's still a bread. If I toast it, I believe that will taste good, right? So you change that, then you start to feel, oh yeah, you can start to smell the good smell of the bread, right? So actually you can see how powerful that your thinking can influence your emotion, right? So actually, here we talk about, you know, the front wheel follow the rear wheel follow the front wheel, right? But also, think about your car. When your car have trouble, maybe because you hear some noise from the back, the rear wheel. Okay, so that means when you physically feel uncomfortable, when your emotion very depressed, that kind of like give us a sign, say, maybe thinking have some issue, maybe the action have some issue. So then they give the sign for us to know how to fix it. Okay, so that makes sense. Okay, so think about for this. Okay, so for the normal condition, what the PowerPoint here say, in the normal condition, you know, two rear wheel, they just follow from the follow the front wheel. They don't complain, right? That means, you know, when we are doing certain action, your body will follow. You know, when you have a thinking, that your emotion will follow. However, you know, if your direction of the previous two front wheel is wrong, the system may be if something goes wrong from the wheel, then actually you hear the noise from your rear wheel. Okay, so then don't, you know, don't underestimate the rear wheel. Even they always follow and they sound very loyalty, but if something goes wrong, actually that is a place you can see the sign. If you hear the noise from the rear wheel, well, you have to pay attention. You have to pay attention. So when you see people depression or anxiety, you know, that's the sign. And of course, we say you're not able to change their feeling, but you can go back to change their thinking. Then they will help them to change their emotion. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so that's the discussion. Say, you know, do you agree with this, and then give us example. Okay, so I'm going now because I won't able to hear you talking if you talk right now, so I may put it into our discussion. But then think about it. Okay, think about it. Use the car to describe the behavior, right? And then, you know, do you feel like this theory is make sense? Do you think that makes sense? I heard some of you say makes sense, right? Or you kind of just say, ridiculous. Well, this William's glasses theory, I think he's very creative. Don't you think so? Okay, so remember in the beginning of the lecture, in our first part, you know, I asked you a question. I say, in this theory, we talk about choice theory and then reality. They two combine together. What's that mean? Okay, what's that mean? Well, in here, if you see this train, track, and trend, okay, so that it mean our reality therapy is like a practice, okay, like a train, and train is the one moving, you know, carry the people from this city to that city, carry all the stuff from this place to other place, right? So reality therapy just kind of like, you know, you are the using some strategy to help people. That's reality therapy. But then your train cannot move if you don't have a train track. Okay, so the train track is choice theory. Okay, so far, the one we talk about the 5 human needs, okay, the quality world, and this the whole behavior, they actually is train track. Okay, train track. So as a therapist, you use this idea and you use this to helping your client. Okay, so how do we help our client? How do we help our client? Okay, couple goal here. Okay, the first goal is you need to help them to, you can help them to pay attention to their quality word. Okay, because quite often, especially when people they have a relationship issue, they always complain why they don't understand me, why we cannot get along. So it's important for helping your client to pay attention about what do they have in their quality words and what their partner or the people they not get along well, what do they have in their quality word. Okay, pay attention to see how do you get to know each other through their quality word. That means ask them to share the story with each other. And then for client to get to know themselves, it's important for them to aware what's their quality word, right? And where is this picture get to the picture album. Okay, have them recall some memory from childhood, then they'll help them to understand their quality word. And even more important, see if they put the wrong thing into the quality word. Okay, so for example, people they have a so strong need to be loved, but they don't have the family, so then they find the gang member and they love them, but they have to go out to steal the stuff for them. Okay, so then their quality word in their picture album is not right, or people use drug to feel fun, and that's not the right way, right? So help them to know what stuff into their quality word. Are they productive, or they are actually it hurt their life, right? The second goal is to help them understand what's their needs. What's their need? What do they really need? And then to examine how do they able to effectively fulfill those needs. Okay, that's very important because, as I say, some people maybe fulfill their fun needs by using drug, and that's not the right way. They won't take them to the even worse life, right? The third goal is help them to make a better decision, to use the right way to satisfy their needs. Okay, so that's an important counseling goal. First of all, help them to clarify, understand, and in their quality word, right? The secondly, help them understand what's their needs. How do they able to fulfill their needs effectively, right? The third is help them to make a right choice, because remember, Glasses say life is a matter of choice, right? So you need to have a right choice in order to get to the right place, right? Okay, so as a counselor, actually, according to Glasser, you are acting as a teacher. You are acting as a teacher. So what do you need to do? Okay, your first step is help your client, help them to explore what they want. Do you know what do you want? Right? Quite often, actually, they are very easy question to ask, but sometimes, like, for example, your mother keep asking you, what do you want to eat? What do you want to eat? And then you say, I don't know. I have no idea, right? So then your mother said, what do you really want? You say, oh, I feel I want something sweet. Okay, so if you say this, easy for your mother to prepare some food for you, right? Or you say, well, I really want to lose some weight. Right, so that is something you want, okay? So secondly, as a teacher, ask your client, what do they want? Then secondly, ask them, then what are you doing right now? what are you doing right now? You say, I want to lose weight, but I'm in the middle of eating and eating and eating and eat a lot of chocolate, eat a lot of candies. Okay, so then you tell your counselor, say, I'm eating, but I want to lose weight. Okay, so if you are a counselor and then you hear your client say this, then you may want to check with them, say, well, if you eat this way, can you losing weight? So that means check with them, whatever they are doing, are they able to get to the place they want to go? Okay, so that is a third step. And then if they say no, but I don't feel I can stop, then you will say, okay, now let's see, let's make a plan. See how can you eat healthy and then also able to lose in weight. Okay, so that is your job as a teacher. So we say counselor acting like a teacher and help client first of all find what do they want, right? Secondly, help them to what? To say, what are you doing now, right? And the third, ask them, well, if you keep doing this, can you get to the place you want to go? And then help them to set the plan. Okay, so now as a counselor, okay, something you can do is, first of all, you need to help them to focus on attitude. Attitude is kind of their thinking, remember, because their attitude influences their emotion, right? So help them to focus on their attitude. You know, if they can have a positive attitude, they're more likely to have a positive emotion, right? And emphasize now rather than the past. Emphasize now rather than the past, right? Because quite often, you know, if clients keep blaming about the past, then they will never able to work on the issue right now. So actually that's the same thing for Glasser when he do the intern in the hospital. They have a female patient have been in the hospital for 4 years, and every time she keep talk about her grandfather. Her grandfather already passed away for so many years, and she spent 4 years just talk about grandfather. So when Glasser take over this work with this patient, he told the patient, first of all, your grandfather already passed away. Okay. Secondly, you already spent 4 years talking about your grandfather. I have no intention to work with you in this way anymore. If you want to, for me to help you, first of all, no more your grandfather, and secondly, no more talk about the story. Okay, we have to focus on now. Okay, do you remember? Do you believe that? You know, only now. If you say, you know, if I keep eating and I say I want to lose weight, it's no use to complain about yesterday, or it's no use to think about, okay, tomorrow, right? It's most important, see, I should stop right now, right? So that's second thing. Okay, the third thing, help your client to understand, you know, whenever you make a choice, you need to take responsibility. You need to make responsibility, because it's no use you just keep talking, but you don't want to even take responsibility for that. Okay? So, other thing is something we have to do, I really like this, called 3 always. 3 always. As a counselor, first of all, we always humble and courtesy. Courteous, right? Because, you know, even we acting like a teacher, but remember our client, they are the expert for their life, or they are expert for their own issue, right? So as a counselor, you have to be humble. And then when we say courtesy, that means, you know, we do whatever we can do to help them to do it, okay? The second always is you have the resolve to help them, the client, solve the problem, Okay, so you always have resolve to help the client to solve their problem. The third one, you always have an enthusiasm. You need to have energy. You need to have energy. So for example, if I'm teacher, I'm helping you, I'm gonna, student, I really don't want to record, well, blah, blah. Do you think you want to listen? You may just say, well, you may just turn off the video. But if I say, hey, I really want to help you, hey, come here, have fun. You say, okay, looks like you have fun. Maybe I can continue to listen, see how much fun we can have, right? And the next one say, give the client surprise. Give the client surprise. It's not mean you have to prepare the gift and give to them. No, it's no. You just need to point something out from their story, and then there's, oh, I never think about this way. I never think about this way. Okay, so that's actually come with the next one we talk about. Maybe you can use some humors when appropriate. Okay, because quite often when they come to the counseling session, they will never think about this called fun place. Okay, remember I have you, many of my students, right? You discuss a question in your after last lecture. I say Glasser say learning equal fun, fun equal learning, right? So that means, and I heard a lot of your good opinion there. Glasses mean when you have fun, everything easy to get to your mind. But if you don't have fun, very hard to learn. Okay, so for example, if you just know a friend, you just know each other, you're so excited, you want to get to know the people more. So every time when you get together, you're so fun. Then quickly you learn everything about a person. You don't even know you are learning, but you learn it. Okay, so same thing when you work with your client, you want to tell them all this idea. You need to have a humor and then use the fun way so your client will easy for them to learn. And this is also part of surprise, right? Because they may think about come to a counseling session, it's boring. But when they find you have fun, they will say, wow, surprise. Maybe now I want to go to see the concert because he or she is fun, right? Okay, but even that, important for the next one, we have to make sure establish a boundary. Okay, just because you guys have fun together, that's not mean, oh, let's go out to have a cup of coffee, let's have dinner together, that's not good for the the professional relationship, because if you get to the dual relationship, will be very hard for maintain the professional relationship. So it's important. And also here the boundary also mean as a counselor you need to help yourself. Okay, even we get a lot of stuff from our client, but it's not mean you need to take over their life. Okay, that's still their issue and you still have your own life. So you need to keep that psychological boundary so you can maintain yourself, and you can have energy to continue work with client. Okay, and then here say share yourself and be yourself. Okay, so it's just because your boundary is not mean, okay, I'm not going to tell you anything about me, you do it, you talk, I'm just listen. No, you can share if you find that it's important. Of course, you don't need to tell them the whole story, but you can say, I have a little bit experience like this, I think I understand you, and that's called sharing. Okay, but then make sure you be yourself. Okay, so whatever you say based on your whatever you believe yourself. Okay, so because we don't really able to help people if we don't have. We cannot give people the one we don't have. Okay, we only can give people the one we have. So if we have energy, then we can help our client have good energy. If we don't have energy, actually you don't really able to help them. Okay, and also important to listening the metaphor, because sometimes client, their story come from a, a metaphor. Okay, for example, you say, I built a wall around myself, I locked the door, but now I cannot find the key. What's that mean? What's the story mean? Okay, the story maybe mean they don't know how to open themselves. They don't have that skill anymore, right? And the next one say, well, you have to, from client's story, they're talking, you have to discover what's their central issue. Okay, they keep talk about this, right? And actually, remember William Glasser said a lot of issue, a lot of things they talk about, they complain their husband, they complain the family, they complain this. Maybe their central issue is they just didn't, for their love and belonging needs didn't get fulfilled. So you may say, you guys don't have good relationship right now, right? You have some argument, right? Well, maybe that's a central issue, but you have to listen. Okay, you have to listen. Okay, and also important, whenever when you finish the lesson, then you want to summarize, and then you have to focus. Okay, otherwise the client can lead you to go everywhere. Okay, so you have to summarize and focus, and allow silence. Allow silence. Quite often, we feel so embarrassed or feel so uneasy when your client not talking, and you keep try to ask questions, you try to break the silence. No, you know what? Silence can be gold. Silence can be gold. There can be a good moment for your client to organize the thinking, because you keep give them a lot of things for them to think about it, right? You need to have them, allow them have time to digest, okay, to put themselves together and to think, and just feel comfortably and sit there and keep quiet and see they will come out something. You don't have to keep asking questions, okay? And also you also want to share, express your empathy. Okay, the empathy, we know it mean what? It mean you understand them, right? You understand them, right? So you want to say, I think I understand you. I know how hard you are. I know what are you talking about, right? Okay, I'm going to get to this slide, and then we will get a break, because I try to put on my time only 30 minutes. I know now a little bit over. Okay, so the next here talk about, when we leading our client, we need to use the lead management rather than boss management. So you are not a boss, but you are the facilitator. You are leading them. Okay, so use a lead management rather than boss management. Okay, and then also it's important to be ethical, and this go along same with the keep the boundary. Okay, it's important. Even you try to help them, but you cannot be unethical. Okay, and dual relationship is one of the things we call unethical. Okay, and it's important. You need expressing expectation and hope for the client. Okay, you will say, I really expect you to do this, and I have hope for you. I know you can do it. So quite often your client, maybe people never give them expectation. People think they are less than. So when you're able to show you have hope on them, and then you expect them to be even better, actually you give them more energy to grow. Okay, and the last one here is help discuss with your client how to make a good choice with quality. Remember, we say one of the goal for counseling is to make a better choice, right? And life is a matter of choice, right? So then it's important with your client to discuss how do they make a choice with quality, make a good choice. Because if life is a matter of choice, then why you don't want to choose a good one? Why you want to always suffer, choose the wrong one or choose the bad one? Okay, so that is the third part of the reality therapy slash choice theory. Okay, so hopefully you find this helpful, and hopefully between this lecture and next lecture, hopefully you have time to think about if I'm the car, what do I want, where do I want to drive myself, if everything I drive myself to is match my needs, it's able to get to the place I want to go. Okay, so hopefully you have some time to digest before we come back for the last part of the lecture. Okay, so any questions for me? If you have any questions, shoot me email or leave you can leave the comments under this YouTube channel, right? Then also most important, please everybody stay healthy and be safe. And I see you next time. Okay, bye bye.